Morning guys, Eugene Compton Gardener. About to come out here to my backyard orchard, give y'all an update, but first I want to release my bunny. I let him just roam around the yard for the day. So he'll just go out there and mind his own business. Then I just collect them at nighttime because I don't want anything to hurt them. I'll see you later, Kane. But anyway, just want to give you a quick update of progress that's going on and what's ripening. Now that we're coming into winter, we have, you can see my mule kumquats still green, right? This is a later variety, but if I come over here, this is the Fukushu kumquat that I just got in the beginning of spring, beginning of spring. So you can see that's pretty heavy loaded. Got some ripening ones, some that's younger here, different stages. Even got some new ones here. Some of them won't survive, they'll just fall right off because it's starting to get cold, but this plant flowered, I believe it's three or four times for me already in one season. So it just keeps flowering, which is cool. But come over here. Oh, also, I never leave my patio without these bad boys. You never know. You might not have intentions on cutting something, but then you see a little dying branch or something, you just gotta deal with it as it arises. Deal with the problem as it arises. But up here, that's my strawberry papaya. It's a Hawaiian variety. That one is 3 years now. Look at the size of this bad boy here though. This one I bought it as a seedling, and it's a little slower grower compared to my Mexican variety, the Red Lady papaya. This one is a year younger, but it's already taller than the strawberry papaya. But the fruits are kind of deformed at the moment. I think it's because it's still young. This is this. See, this one should be the more elongated papaya, but instead some of them are forming with these curves and stuff. But that's something that I'm sure will correct itself. Over here, my oranges, my caracaras are starting to get some color on them. All right, caracara, these ones are my oldest citrus. It's been in the ground for 4 or 5 years now. That's my 2-in-1. Caracara and the Valencia. So the Caracara is ripening up now, and then the Valencia, which are mainly all still green, those ones will come later on, which is kind of extends my season. This here is my Jaboticaba. Last year I got one fruit. Get all these flowers now though. So the flowers form on the stem of the plant, or should I say the branches, the older wood. I've got plenty of flowers coming out. So that one I'm excited about because this one I've been watching it grow for the past 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. And, that's it, just watching it grow, no fruit. This one here above me, I'm gonna get down below. That's my dragon fruit. That's my four dragon fruits I have staked up on this tire with my 4x4 pole wrapped it so that the roots could kind of stick in there, but it flowered kind of late because they just fell right off. So, and that one is just this one right now that gives me flowers. So that one was like 12 flowers that fell off. So I won't be getting fruit right now because it's kind of late in the season for that to be flowering. What else you have? Oh. So I'm also going to be making some changes this spring once it warms up. We have cane under my cherimoya trees. He doesn't bother nothing. Initially I thought he would be eating up all my plants, but nope. He doesn't bother nothing. I just get his droppings and I just scatter them all over the garden here. Just doing a little organic gardening. So I help him, he helps me. What can I say? But one of the changes that will be made this coming spring, you guys could get an update on that too. These are my 2 cherimoyas, my honey heart, as well as my I'm not sure what this variety is. It's a bumpy variety. Look, it has a lot of fruits on it. All right, over here, my honey heart. I like the combination of it because the honey heart tends to get to size faster than the other variety, so that kind of extends my fruiting season. But I decided that because they're so similar in taste and texture that I would get rid of one, and in its place, well, the bumpy one is more a little grainier than the honey heart, so I chose to get rid of that one, and I'm gonna put a soursop. So soursop is in the same family, but it's a whole different taste. You have a little bit of tanginess to it, as well as sweetness. So I've tried one of those, and I determined that that's the change that I want to do. A lot of people wouldn't remove it, especially after, has it been 2 years, 3 years in the ground. And you can see the size of that trunk, but I had to make a decision, and that's okay to do. In the backyard orchard, sometimes we try something that we don't, not that we don't like it, but we know that there's something better. We gotta exchange them out. Another thing I'll probably be exchanging out, I have mixed feelings about this one because I've only had it for one season, is my what is this one? Saucy Swirl Peach. And this one is a white peach that's like a saucer shape, and I have it grown as an espalier up against here, if y'all can see that. So right now it's about, what's that, 10, 11 feet tall, and I've just been growing it. Look, side branch, so it's been a nice form, right? But after tasting that one, get out of the sun there, and comparing it to my Alberta, classic Alberta, I like more of that acid in the fruit, more of a classic taste, and I prefer that more. So I'm gonna put Miss Alberta in that spot because I am crammed for space. I don't know if y'all can see. There's plants everywhere back here. Ooh. I got a glimpse of my jewels. I guess I'll just show it now. That's right. That's the persimmons. This one is, get all of this, loaded. Just loaded. Go around the whole tree, loaded with fruit. But this is 4 trees that have one. I have 2 in the ground and 2 grafts onto it. Look over here. Right? This is the Fuyu persimmon that I just purchased at a big box store 2 years ago. And onto that at the bottom, let me see if I can get it into camera there. Right here. Excuse me. Right there. That little one coming off of there. That's my graft. And there's a fruit that's on my graft right here. See that? And that one is also well, it's not astringent when it's pollinated, but when it's not pollinated, it is astringent. That's the only one that gets astringent, because on this side I have my Izu persimmon. So all of these ones here are my Izu persimmons. You can see that's loaded. That's 7 fruits right on there at the bottom, plus an additional 2. It's like 10 fruits right there. And I put this net because the birds, they like to get in there. But anyway, this one here, this branch right here that you see from, where is it? Nope, down below here. I don't know if you can see that, but that's my graft point, and it goes all the way up here, 3 feet. That one is my giant persimmon, which is also non-astringent. Look at all of these. So last year I didn't get as many fruit, so what I did was I had these individual nets that I put around each individual fruit. This year, the amount of my fruits outnumbered the amount of my nets. Nets, right? N-E-T-S. Nets. So I just went and purchased these little nets at my local Home Depot for like $7 each, and bought 2 of them, 14 feet. Just threw it over. It reduced the amount of birds that's getting in, but when I was just looking at this, I noticed that there is some activity. See if I can get it on camera there. So they're still managing, they are determined to get to these fruits. And my beef with them is that they pick the ones that are ripening up, the ones I'm waiting for, or the ones that they're waiting for. They get to it before me because they're the early birds, right? Let's see, how can I get in here? Just gonna show y'all real quick on my camera. See that? They got right in there. But all I'm gonna do, they got their share, I'm gonna get my share. Remove that one from the tree so it don't just rot, right? Boom. They got to a good portion of it. Nice size hole. So when I get back in the house, all I'm gonna do is cut that part off, and I'll work on the other end. Sharing is caring. Guess I had no choice but to share. But these are ripening up. Right now they're at the stage that you'll find at the stores, the grocery stores, if you can find them in the stores. But that's not the stage that I like to eat them. I like to wait until it's it'll get more darker orange and start to get a little soft. And that's when I like it, when it's juicy, not crunchy, which some people eat it like that, but not I. So that's pretty much all that's happening. I have my jujubes go around here. Oh, we got these guys. You know, the little Caro. Get those. These are the little Caro avocado tree. It's a dwarf variety that you could grow in a pot, which I am doing right now. But I kind of want to give him my last in-ground space, you know, prime real estate, because I got a good, this is 10 fruits up here on this 6-foot tree, but I wanted to get, I will allow it to get maybe about 8-9 feet. I think I could spare. But it was a little scary watching these leaves fall, but it's not gonna do too much damage because look, new growth all over it. So I just make sure that it doesn't get sunburned. I have it behind this shelter here. That's my wall for my espalier. So it just comes right off the other side. And that kind of gives it shade from the sun. And then these guys are going to sleep already. This is my, what am I calling it here? Sugarcane jujube. And this one is my new variety that I just put. It's got the GA166, I believe. So those are gonna go to sleep, and then I'll give that a good little shaping. Another thing I wanted to give y'all an update on, pomegranates, right? So there was 3 particular varieties that I liked. I didn't try them, haven't tried any of them, but just based on what I've read, piqued my interest. So the what do we call it? Sweet pomegranate, Eversweet, and what's the other one? Second here. Oh, Parpianca. So I couldn't decide which one to get, so I did what anyone else would do. I bought all 3. I have 3 pomegranates, but just an example of taking care of your soil, right? I want to show you something. Also, when you plant things in pots, it'll kind of compact the tree as well. So that has a lot to do with it. But look at this here. This is my Parpianca, which is in 15 gallon pot. And this one is 2 feet. It's cute, right? When I bought my sweet and my Eversweet, they were also about the same height, but I put those in the ground side by side. See that? That's the sweet right there, and that's the Eversweet right here. They are 3 feet apart. But look at the size difference now. See that? Right? With all of my plants, I have pretty good soil on my property. I was fortunate enough that I don't have to amend the soil. But coming back over here, my guava tree, which is completely grown all the way up there, it's now at 15 feet again. So right before spring, maybe in February, January or February, I think more so February, I'm gonna prune this heavy. I'm gonna prune 8 feet off of this. I'm gonna bring it all the way down to just 4.5 feet off the ground and start over. Let that grow out, because next year. All of that is the fruiting wood for next year. And I won't be able to reach that. And it will honestly be way too many fruit. I had way too many fruit going off of 8 foot of growth this year. So don't really need that much. Over here, my Satsuma. See how technically I should probably thin this out. Let me see. Because this is what a 3 foot plant, 3.5 foot that I have in this half wine barrel. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27 fruits on a 3 foot plant. That's a lot of load. So perhaps I'll thin that out. Kane is just running back and forth, having a good time. So that's basically it. Oh, one more thing to add. I just got 2 new additions to my garden. So excited about that. Here we have Sweetheart Lychee. This one's just gonna sit on my patio until it starts to warm up again. This one, I wish I had some ground space, plant that in the ground so it could become like a, I wouldn't mind a nice little 9 foot lychee tree, but we'll leave it there. And then I had to move 2 plants inside. Come inside here so you can see. Acerola. This is my star fruit that I grew from seed 3 years ago when I was on vacation in Cancun. I bought a seed, brought back a seed. You can see that flowers already. So I don't know the variety because when you go to foreign countries and stuff, they don't go by varieties. They just go by star fruit or orange or whatever it is that they're growing, right? So, but when I had it outside, the flowers were falling right off. So I brought it inside to see if I could get it to fruit. Maybe it's too cold outside right now since it's flowering over here in close to winter. And then also, I went to this nursery with a couple buddies of mine, and I just went just to accompany them. But if I see something that interests me, I gotta get it. So the soursop plant that's gonna be replacing the cherimoya, I brought that inside when I was at the nursery. The lady told me, bring it inside for the winter because they're very frost sensitive. And then once it's in the ground in the spring, it'll be fine. You can leave it in the ground. So I have a patio. I don't need to put it inside the house. I have a patio. Sometimes you gotta listen. Sometimes people know what they're talking about. I had it on the patio, and I lost a lot of leaves. Look at this. Leaves just off, right? So gotta clean this up, I guess. But so I decided to bring it inside. After all, figured maybe she might be onto something. Maybe she might know what she's talking about. So that'll be there until springtime. So that's pretty much it. Those are a few changes that's going to be happening this spring. I'm going to be taking out the one of the cherimoyas and putting a soursop in this place. And then also I will be taking out the saucy squirrel peach and putting the Alberta back right there. And be on to our next season. Cut back the guava tree. Got some work cut out for me. Spring is my favorite time of the season. Right? It's not too cold. Start to warm up. Everything starts to bloom. But around this time is amazing too because you actually get to eat the fruit, right? Oh, hold on. Got one more thing to show you. The cherimoya. 1 second. Alright, I had to pause the video to go get these jewels over here. These bad boys. Ooh, this one's ready. Yep, this one's ready. Cherimoya. The reason I say it's ready because look at this. It's already coming out. Look, boom. Now, cherimoyas, they ripen similar to like avocado or a banana, right? They don't ripen on the plant. You have to take it off. I put it in my drawer, in my dresser drawer, and let it ripen.